Good morning, everyone. It's my honor to be here and proudly present our research, which is Root Canal Morphology of Mesiobuccal Root of permanent maxillary first molar in Thai population microcomputed tomography. We have 5 researchers with our professional advisor from Department Operative, Dentistry and Endodontics. Let's move to the introduction. The purpose of endodontic treatment is to prevent and to treat apical parodontititis by eliminating bacteria in root canal. From previous study reported that 1/3 causes of endodontic failure is missing uncleaned canal, especially in MB2 canal in upper first molar. So, the importance of study in root canal morphology is very important to increase the success rate of endodontic treatment. From previous study, there have only 2 studies that study MB2 in Thai population, but none of them use MicroCT to investigate the root canal system. So, the objective of this study is to classify the root canal configuration of Mesiobuccal root according to vertex classification, to investigate the prevalence of second Mesiobuccal root canal, and the last one, to measure the geometric location of second Mesiobuccal root. Let's move to the methodology and data analysis. This research was approved by Ethics Committee. For the sample preparation, extracted maxillary first molar from Thai people which cannot identify the personal information were collected following the inclusion criteria. The teeth with root caries, root resorption, root fracture, or root restoration were excluded from this study. Then the teeth were cut with 2 mm coronally to the CEJ. Then smear layer was removed by soaking with 17% EDTA and 2.5% sodium hypochlorite. Then all specimens were scanned by MicroCT. After that, it was 3D reconstructed. We will divide this research into 3 parts following our 3 objectives. Part 1. The pouch chamber of root was investigated under dental operating microscope to investigate the number of orifices. And then 3D image was used to investigate the amount of root canal and apical foramen. For part 2, the 3D image was used to investigate the prevalence of MB2 root canal by using vertex classification, and then we will use all data except type 1, divided by the all specimen. For part 3, the teeth were divided into 2 groups. The first one present MB2 at pulpal floor level. This group will use to measure the horizontal geometric location according to Gardis's method. Briefly, Gardis's method suggested that drawing the line from MB1 orifice to palatal orifice, then drawing the line from MB2 perpendicular to MB1 palatal line, and then the average distance were mesial distance, palatal distance, and distance between MB orifice. Another group was the teeth absent MB2 at pulpal floor, but had MB2 canal separating from MB1 beneath the pulpal floor level. This group will use to measure the vertical geometric location. For the vertical geometric location, the distance will be calculated by the first lab of cross-sectional image that had 3 orifices at pulpal floor. and another first set that had 4 root canals. Let's look at the result. MB root canal was classified by Dentistry classification as approximately type 1 34%, type 2 12%, type T 8%, type 4 and 5 13% equally, type 6 10%, type 7 4%, type 8 0%, and unclassified type as 9%. So, the prevalence of MB2 root canal in Thai population was found at 66.25%. Okay, and for the horizontal geometric location, MB2 orifice was found 0.96 mm mesially and 0.98 palatally to the MB1 orifice, and the distance between MB1 and MB2 orifice was found at 1.48 mm. For the vertical geometric location, in this case, the teeth were absent MB2 at pulpal form, and then 41% was found that MB2 canal separating from MB1 beneath the pulpal form. For this group, about 58% was found beneath the pulpal form level within 1 mm. Another 21% was found more within 1.5 mm degree, and another 10% was found more 0.5 mm degree. So, in the summary, almost 90% of them were found within 2 mm from the pulpal floor level. Let's move to the discussion. The prevalence in Thailand of Mesiobuccal Root was found 66.25%, which similar to the previous study. The horizontal geometric location of MB2 canal was found that it located mesially and palatally to the MB1 orifice, was similar as the previous study. For the vertical geometric location, we found that within 2 mm, MB2 will separating from MB1 orifice, and then this result also supported by data of in 2015. For the conclusion, MB root canal was classified as Dentistry classification as shown before. The prevalence of MB2 canal in Thai population was found at 66.25%. The MB2 orifice was found at 42.50%, which location was approximately 1 mm mesially and palatally to MB1 orifice. In case of 41% of absent MB2 at pulpal floor level, 90% of them will found MB2 separating from MB1 within 2 mm beneath the pulpal floor level. So, all of this information will lead us to increase the long-term prognosis of endodontic treatment. By applying all this to the clinical practice to assure that the dentist can locate the exact location of MB2, and then the missing canal of MB2 will decrease. Thank you for your attention.
Very good presentation. Any question?
Okay, thank you very much for your nice and clear presentation. good result. Like you say that in the please move back one slide. Move back one slide. You say that like around 40% that MB2 orifice didn't show at the pulpal floor, right? However, I wondering about the pulpal floor that you use as a reference because it's a clinical landmark, right? But from CBCT, no? How did
MicroCT.
Sorry, MicroCT. How did you like set up the level that this is the pulpal floor level?
As
Because the
I
pulpal
said,
floor is not like a flat, right? Not completely flat.
as I said in the methodology, we will define the pulpal floor level by the first lab that had 3 orifices. 3 orifices.
So it's not it correspond to the pulpal floor in clinical situation, right?
But by MicroCT, it cannot definite the pulpal floor like in clinical. So we will define the pulpal floor level by the first lab that had obviously 3 orifices that has the oval shape.
Okay, and the 3 orifice is MB, BB, and palatal.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any question? I think it should be associated with a genetic factor, right?
Yes.
Did you compare with any other racial population like Caucasian, Negroid? Is it different?
It's different because from the literature review, we found many research that study MB2 in many races, and we found many prevalence of MB2 is different prevalence in different races as shown in the map. It's the worldwide map shown depend on any country.
This means you should be more cautious if you do the patient in Korea or right?
I think yes.
Okay, very good. Any other question?
Okay. So our research is very important to increase the clinical awareness for the dentist
Yeah.
to locate the exactly location of MB2, especially in Thai population.
Sure, 100% is Thai population.
Yes.
Or Thai Chinese? I'm not sure. It looks like
Definitely less.
Okay, thank you very much. Good Piyarat. Okay, thank you. The
Thank
next.
you.
Okay. The next team is Miss Nathida Suwannapal.